a Vatican, if they had a connect, in my mind, represents this. And let me tell you this, while people were getting on Ted Wilson for that reason, I found this. Now, anybody who watched Ted Wilson's sermon, it was powerful. Yeah, it was powerful. I mean, I want to play some of it, but I can't do the time. But it was you need to watch it. It was powerful. Man, that made me feel good. That made me feel good being a Seventh-Day Adventist listening to that message. But this young lady on Facebook, she almost was apologizing for his sermon today. And look what she made 4 points on his sermon. Number one, are you ready for it? It says, based on Ted Wilson's GC session sermon today, and for anybody who saw it, and I watched it, not only for my own self, but to answer these false claims. And see, people like this would have had no problem with the Vatican flag. They probably wouldn't have no problem. Just look, listen to this, Mike. Look what she says. I found out based on this sermon that I'm in a cult. Wilson repeatedly told us today that the SDA church denomination is superior to all other churches in the eyes of God. Did he say that? He didn't say that one time. But you see how people take things out of context? This is the Seventh-Day Adventist saying this. He supported this claim with Bible verses in Daniel, Revelation and Daniel. But see, that was lightweight compared to what I'm about to show you.
Okay. So let's fact check this and then discuss. I did everyone a solid, and I made a compilation clip of a good portion of Ted Wilson's address at the 2022 GC session regarding this woman's claim. Let's see who is and isn't getting the context. He's sitting here saying this woman took this out of context. We hear this all the time. EJ, CMB, other former Adventists. You're taking that out of, that's just the go-to claim. You're taking the visceral response. You're taking it out of context. So again, I compiled down from the hour and 42 minute or so speech, all of the portions where Ted talks about what this woman's claim is. Remember, she said it was clear from his message that in the eyes of God, the Adventist Church is superior to other denominations. This clip is about 8 minutes and 50 seconds long, so please bear with us. We're going to watch it all, and then we'll come back to it. So again, does Ted Wilson in any way in this clip, any way, shape, or form, say that the SDA Church is superior to others in God's eyes? And also ask yourself, does any of this exude cultic behaviors and ideas?
From the Holy Word, we understand Seventh-day Adventists to be God's called remnant church with a unique, peculiar prophetic identity. It is a unique movement with a unique message on a unique heavenly mission. We are to lift up Christ, His Word, His righteousness, His sanctuary service, His saving power in the great controversy, His three angels' messages, His health message, His last day mission to the world of sharing the good news of salvation. As God's remnant people, identified in Revelation 12:17, those who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ, we have a special message of warning, grace, and hope in Testimonies for the Church, Volume 7, page 138. We read, Seventh-day Adventists have been chosen by God as a peculiar people, separate from the world. He has made them His representatives and has called them to be ambassadors for Him in the last work of salvation. Hold fast your faithfulness to God's unique Advent movement, resisting any compromise with ecumenism and neutralization of the pure Word of God. Yes, make friends with people, explain things to people. Be a good part of the Christian community, but realize we have been called to a unique place in history as the Seventh-day Adventist Church. God intends that His church move forward without compromise on the pathway to the eternal city led by Jesus Christ Himself. Difficult days lie ahead as God's remnant people will receive everything that the devil can throw at us. Hold fast to the precious understanding that we are God's worldwide remnant Seventh-Day Adventist Church in over 200 countries who support each other, avoiding the mission-destroying concept of congregationalism. Our hearts are refreshed and inspired to accomplish what God has in store for us in these last days of Earth's history. Since God formed the Seventh-Day Adventist Church, His remnant church, to proclaim His three angels' messages of Revelation 14. The time will come to make the ultimate decision of who to worship by indicating where our loyalties lie. With God, by worshiping on His holy seventh-day Sabbath, regardless of the consequences, or by following the beast, who has set up his false day of worship on Sunday. It is at that time that those who choose to keep Sunday will receive the mark of the beast. At that time, not before. The Great Controversy plainly states on pages 604 and 605, with the issue thus clearly brought before him, whoever shall trample on God's law to obey a human enactment receives the mark of the beast. The Sabbath will be the great test of loyalty, for it is the point of truth especially controverted. When the final test shall be brought to bear upon men, then the line of distinction will be drawn between those who serve God and those who serve Him not. While the observance of the false Sabbath in compliance with the law of the state, contrary to the fourth commandment, will be an avowal of allegiance to a power that is in opposition to God. The keeping of the true Sabbath in obedience to God's law is an evidence of loyalty to the Creator, while one class, by accepting the sign of submission to earthly powers, receive the mark of the beast. The other, choosing the token of allegiance to divine authority, receive the seal of God. Revelation 14:8 states, and another angel followed, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she has made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. This is the church down through the Middle Ages that continues today, led by the papacy. It will, according to Bible prophecy, unite with apostate Protestantism and spiritualism to form the triumvirate powers attempting to force submission from all who faithfully follow the Word of God. I want to tell you, we love everyone. We show respect to all religions, but there is only one true God and one truth from His throne room in heaven. Babylon is a symbol of complete confusion, chaos, and the mixing of truth and error, and is fallen because it represents the devil and satanic influences confusing people. Again, from the Great Controversy 588, through the two great errors, the immortality of the soul, that's the false lie of the devil, that something lives beyond death, which is wrong, it's not biblical. And I'm quoting, and Sunday sacredness, Satan will bring the people under his deceptions. We do not believe in the immortality of the soul, but the devil tries to bring in that deception to cause confusion and open the door to spiritualism, which will combine with the Roman power and apostate Protestantism, forming this union to confuse people. It is Babylon. Continuing in the Great Controversy, through the two great errors, the immortality of the soul and Sunday sacredness, Satan will bring the people under his deceptions. While the former lays the foundation of spiritualism, the latter creates a bond of sympathy with Rome. The Protestants of the United States will be foremost in stretching their hands across the gulf to grasp the hand of spiritualism. They will reach over the abyss to clasp hands with the Roman power. And under the influence of this threefold union, this country, now that's referring to the United States where we are right now. And I tell you, I am a citizen of this country and I thank God for this country. But I want to tell you, this is what the future holds. This country will follow in the step of Rome in trampling on the rights of conscience. This is not a conditional prophecy. It confirms Revelation 13 and 14. The United States, represented by the two-horned beast of Revelation 13:11, will repudiate the very foundations upon which it was founded. Its two horns, representing republicanism, that's not the party, that's the form of government, and the other representing Protestantism, this two-horned beast will create an image to the beast through a national Sunday law. You can count on it. It's coming. Revelation 13:12 states, "And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes in the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." This clearly shows that the image to the beast, the United States, combined with apostate Protestantism, will initiate activities to support the beast and a Sunday law, and will make the whole earth worship the beast whose deadly wound is healed. There will be national and international Sunday laws that will deprive all Bible-believing Christians worldwide of their religious liberty and freedom of conscience. The devil, his supporters, and his false day of worship will appear to have triumphed, but it will not last long. God's great sign of his authority as creator, the seventh-day Sabbath, will be the seal of his people and will triumph forever when Christ returns to take his people home to heaven.
Okay. So, besides Ted saying that the Seventh-day Adventists are specifically chosen by God, God's unique worldwide remnant church, a peculiar, which means special, people with a unique message and prophetic authority, or a prophetic identity, the ambassadors in the last work of salvation on a unique heavenly mission, uniquely called God's church, the church led by Jesus, uniquely formed by God as the remnant in comparison to other Christians, the true worshipers of God with all others following after the beast to eventually be marked by the beast. Other churches are Babylon. SDAs are the only ones faithfully following the word of God, supposedly because of the Sabbath. Other churches believe false lies of the devil, like the State of the Dead, are led by the devil and are apostate. Besides that, no, Dr. O, he didn't say that the SDA church is superior in the eyes of God. Does any of that sound like it could possibly cause a person to think, gee, it sounds like he's saying that the SDA church is superior in the eyes of God? What say you?
It doesn't just sound like it. That's exactly what he said over and over and over again. This is another fundamentally ingrained core of Adventism. And I mean, all of the millenarian cults are this way, by the way.
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses, they're the only true religion. Mormons, they are the only true Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. The only truth there is. Adventists, we're the only true remnant church over against everybody else who's Catholic and apostate Protestants and they're following the beast, etc. All of these millenarian cults, these Millerite cults, that's how they are. This is part and parcel of who they are, that Christianity was in apostasy from the death of the apostles, and God raised them up in these last days, before the end of the world, to be the only sole true church, who's so blessed and gifted with divine light, a special message. And, that's exactly what he says. And that is superiority. That is cultic. And again, tons of literature have been written on this. And I have a couple of chapters that deal with these sort of issues too. And I'm Hiding in Plain Sight, Volume 2. And so, again, Dr. O, one really has to wonder. One really has to wonder when he says certain things.
Yeah, and look at the definition. Higher in rank, status, or quality. Did anything that he said make it sound like the Seventh-day Adventist Church, in the eyes of God, is of a higher status, rank, or quality? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything.
That
So how could this woman?
God's remnant church, God's unique church, God's
Yeah,
this unique and special and all this is unique mission and the sanctuary service and the three angels message. Who else on the planet has the sanctuary service and the three angels message in the way SDAs do?
yeah.
Nobody,
And
right?
shame on you, Dr. O, for castigating a woman for using her critical reasoning faculties
Mhm.
that just on a basic surface level reading, yeah, that is what he's saying. You guys think that you are a remnant amongst Christians, that you are God's end times church with a unique message that you are restoring that fell away and are supposedly, like we reviewed in the last set of videos that we did with Doug Batchelor, restoring ancient Christianity.
Mhm.
Yeah, you do think that you're superior in the eyes of God.
Hmm.
Ridiculous. Like, no, this woman's not crazy. So, +1 for this woman, another strike on Dr. O, the professor and pastor.